But here's M.I.A. 21st century version from Sri Lanka. Who are you?
Whatever you want me to be.
You are M.I.A.
That's right, but I'm here now.
Maya, have you brought along Mama's t-shirt?
No. My friends were like, get rid of it, get something new, you know. But I was trying to get a point across, what is
the deal on the Bahamas t-shirt? Because M.I.A. is usually in a Bahamas t-shirt, right? Always on tour?
You read that somewhere, didn't you?
Yes, you always bring it along with you.
Yeah, I had to leave it behind because it like shredded. I had it surgically removed, and it shredded into little pieces. So I turned it into hairbands, and then it disappeared.
So, M.I.A., here you are in North America, and I understand you had a stinging performance at Coachella.
Yeah, it was intense.
Like literally stinging. Weren't there bees that came into the tent?
What do you mean by that?
I heard that there were actual bees that came into the tent, or where you were performing at Coachella, and people ran out. Like there actually were bees that came in there.
No.
No?
You're talking about my cell phone?
Yes, you.
I've got a cell phone with a bee ring that gets buzz like that.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe that's what was ringing and people thought it was bees. It does that all the time. Yesterday I was at Napster and people started running out of the building because my phone was ringing. It's like...
So you frightened people at Coachella. They ran away from you because of the bee noise.
They all ran into the tent where I was there, you know.
But otherwise it went just great, didn't it?
Yes.
Well, actually, apparently they ran out of the tent. That was the report.
No, the tent where I left my phone was my backstage tent, the VIP tent. But who wants to be there anyways? You know, get them all out.
Maya, growing up, how many scabs did you have?
A lot.
Like, where were they and why did they happen? And are there any scars left?
Obviously, that's what I'm trying to get out on my music, you know. Every single scar is described in every single song.
And Maya, is it true that you listened to Boney M straight for 5 years?
Yeah, of course. What do you do when you're poor? Shit, no one's checking for you. No one's building any H&Bs and Virgin megastores in villages that I came from, you know what I mean? You just have to bootleg, but with cassettes. We don't have the internet and stuff.
What particular Boney M song did you really enjoy? I love Ra Ra Rasputin.
One Way Ticket.
Not Ra Ra Rasputin?
Mm-mm.
Do you know Ra Ra Rasputin?
Mm-mm.
You don't know that one by Boney M?
No, I only had one tape, I told
But
you.
you'd think that would at least be on there, you know, Ra Ra Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine.
No, it was like, brown girl in the wind, la 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 la, that one.
Well, I guess I was wondering because, you know, you're kind of Commonwealth. Sri Lanka is Commonwealth and Canada is Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to other people about Boney M, and they don't know about Ra Ra Rasputin either. I guess maybe Ra Ra Rasputin basically was just a Canadian hit.
Maybe. Yeah, I think in Europe it went down differently, you know. But in Sri Lanka, definitely, it was more like a Bye Bye Baby, One Way Ticket, I remember, and yeah, it's really hard for me to remember now.
Even though you had it drilled into your brain for 5 years.
Yeah, of course. But
this is what somebody looks like that's had Boney M for 5 years, right?
Well, look, I was 0 to 5. Do you know what I mean? You're putting a lot of pressure on a 5-year-old.
Well, formative years.
To take Boney M, you know what I mean?
If people are wondering about Sri Lankan music and Western influence, Duran Duran, didn't they shoot Hungry Like the Wolf in Sri Lanka?
They did. That's Sri Lanka's claim to fame in popular culture.
That's the big thing, the Duran Duran?
Yeah.
Do you know where that was shot?
Thanks for that. Thanks for giving us, like, some credit on one video in pop music.
But you're returning the favor, though.
Yeah, of course, you know, I'm here.
No, I meant, like, for your videos that you've shot. Didn't you shoot a video in Sri Lanka, too?
No, I'm trying to do it in England to return the favor.
So it's only been Duran Duran so far? Nobody else?
No. I haven't shot one in Sri Lanka. I'd get shot if I went to shoot a video there. So, you know, there's no such thing as a production company you can employ to do something. So.
M.I.A., when you moved to England, is it true that you... And there's a lot of is-it-trues with M.I.A. Is it true that you only knew a few words and one of them was Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
What were the 5 words that you knew in English when you moved to England?
Well, it was Michael Jackson, dancing, apple, because there's no word in Tamil for apple, so you had to learn it. And then I knew...
Mango?
Yeah, mango.
So you had these 5 words all set up, ready to go, but your mom had a bit harder time, didn't she? She didn't have 5 words, did she?
Well, yeah, she didn't think it was important.
But you teach her a new word every year. Is it true that your mom learns a new word every year?
I taught her banana. That's why I wrote it.
And then last year she learned lesbian?
God, you've been reading so much stuff. Yeah, it's true. No, this year it's been underworld, which is kind of underground, but she got it wrong. So she's like, M.I.A, I heard you are underworld. What is that? And then I had to explain it was underground music, you know, and how it was all right. It didn't have any connection to the mafioso. Yeah.
How about yourself, though, M.I.A? How have you been doing? Have you been able to comb your hair recently?
No, can't you tell?
No, it looks really good.
It's the only way I can rebel against all the American good teeth, good hair thing. You know?
Wasn't there a period that you went through where you didn't comb your hair for like months because you were serious? You were working on the record and there was no combing.
And now I was brushing my teeth.
I thought there was no combing.
No.
Not brushing your teeth, that's stupid.
I haven't combed my hair for years. Like, it's not even like months. Like, even music is just... My hair thing is like, it is what it is. You know, it does what it does.
And M.I.A, people criticize you for your hair?
Yeah, some people do.
Your bad perm. Your mom disowned you for your perm?
Where did you get that from? That's not true.
I heard that your mom disowned you because you had a bad perm and everybody made fun of you, your perm. Like your mom wouldn't even talk to you.
No, that's my clothes. My perm, I didn't really have a perm. This is just, it's just unruly hair.
Well, M.I.A, you're a great dancer, but I understand you were forced to dance by your relatives. Like you were forced into dancing. Is that true?
You know, people had to get their entertainment somehow in Sri Lanka. We didn't have a telly, we didn't have a video. We had one tape, the Boney M tape. And your use for that tape, it has to kind of progress, you know. You have to add new things to the mix. So, yeah, we had a tape, and we found a tape recorder to play it on. Then add the kid, and then make it dance. And then that was entertainment.
You were the entertainment.
Of course.
So you'd be sleeping and woken up in the middle of the night to dance for the uncles.
Cold water. Get your ass up! It was like that. Then they used to just make me dance for about 4 hours straight. I was, you know, crying, tears running down, but entertainment.
But it totally paid off in the long run. Like, you were the best dancer. I love it. It is awesome.
Good. I'm glad.
And you've also employed your relatives as well. Because you ventured to California to your cousin's ranch, didn't you?
What? How do you know that?
Your cousins that lived in California.
Yeah. Well, I left Sri Lanka and settled in England. They left Sri Lanka and settled in California. But, yeah, it's an interesting difference between growing up in England and my cousins growing up in California.
And you moved to England.
They all think they're Mexicans. It's really funny.
Well, that's what I thought was really interesting. They're living in North America, and you go to visit them, and then you bump into Dr. Dre and Eddie Murphy. Like you partied with Dr. Dre and Eddie Murphy pre-kind of M.I.A. fame, right?
Well, I think when you go to hang out and you're like an 18-year-old in California, you meet a lot of people, you know, and it's not really Eddie Murphy, but yeah, I met Snoop and Dre and them. It's nice to come back and be able to work with people.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because now you've signed to Interscope, which is like home of Snoop and Dre.
I know.
Do you think you're going to be able to work with them at all?
Maybe. I mean, that's the interesting lesson for me. You know what I mean? Like you can actually determine how you know, when I was going out to all the clubs, and when you're like getting invited to all these places, it didn't really count for me, because I was like, it's not really, I mean, partying is partying, I love it, and I make party music now, but it'd be nice to enter a room and be counted as an equal, and, you know, be a woman who didn't have to compromise and, you know, sell yourself on your sexuality and things like that. So to me, like, it'd be amazing to work with Dr. Dre and stuff, you know, to come back like 8 years later and be counted. It's good.
How would they remember you, M.I.A., from the old days, from your time in California? How would Snoop and Dre remember you?
They won't. That's what's good about it.
I think it's awesome. Like, you're such a go-getter, M.I.A.
Not really a go-getter.
Yeah, you are. Like, you don't even mean to hook up with Snoop and Dr. Dre, and then you end up hooking up with?
I can't tell you. I'm hooking up with someone else, but I'm not going to tell anyone yet. But, you know, I think it's really good to get opportunities, man. I think when you come across to America and you're obviously from a different culture and a different part of the world and it's nice to have the same opportunities as, you know, the musicians from America. It's nice.
Well, you have to have drive, and you, M.I.A., have drive. When your mom was doing knitting for Prince Charles, you were trying to slip notes to Prince Charles?
She made medals. Yeah, she wasn't knitting. It's not cool.
But still, Prince Charles' jacket is at your house, and you're slipping notes into Prince Charles' jacket to get to Prince Charles. That's awesome.
Why not? You know, he's there, really bored at the Royal Convention. He puts his hand in the pocket. He gets a note out. And it's direct communication. You know, it was like 1 degree of separation between me, my mum, and Prince Charles. It was like, of course you have to try, like, what that means. You know, I could have written anything as, like, you know, a joke, trying to, you know, send a note to the Prince of Oman or something like that. It was just fun.
And you seize on the opportunity. For instance, many people know this song, Common People. She studied sculpture at St.
Martians College.
At St. Martians College. You wanted to go there, and by God, you
went.
Yeah, you just kept going and going and going, and eventually they let you in.
Yeah, I emotionally blackmailed them.
Yeah, in the same way, can they put the secret notes to Prince Charles? You blackmailed them into taking you.
Not really. It's just like, what is the point of having an art institution that was about, you know, breaking down conventions and stereotypes and questioning the world and turning it upside down when every goddamn student applied and followed the rules that were set out, you know, by the institute to get in? Like, what is the point? Of course someone has to do it the other way around and come in through the side door, the back door, and every goddamn door. That's how you're going to churn out artists who actually are relevant, who are going to change things. You know, that's my point with the institution. It's like, yeah, okay, so you've chosen 100 people for this year on your course, but each and every one of them did apply 6 times and did turn up to the interviews, did have all the qualifications they asked for. Nobody thought that, you know. So how do you get these people to go out in the world and fight for things and change things? It doesn't make sense.
I just love it. You took advantage of the situation, Prince Charles's jacket, St. Martin's College, you just go for it. And is that where you met Peaches? Was Peaches taking a course at St. Martin's?
No, that's the journalist getting it all wrong all the time.
I want to think that Peaches was taking a course at St. Martin's. I want to think that.
I think she's too cool for that.
Because knowledge is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think Peaches had her time, and besides she's a little bit older than me. I don't know. I think Peaches was in a band, an indie band, for a long time and stuff. But yeah, it's funny. It's funny how journalists always assume that Peach is ended at St Martin's when...
I want to think that.
I don't think she's ever been in England. You know.
She's done quite a few tours in England.
Yeah, I know, but tours once she became a musician, but when she was a musician, she wouldn't be studying at St Martin's.
I think she started out as like a high school teacher, so she does have some sort of university background, I'm pretty sure of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure it's Canadian education.
M.I.A., how tough is South London? How tough is South London? A friend of mine was there, and they saw all these like yellow signs on the streets, and it was really scary, all the stuff that was on these yellow signs.
What do you mean?
Like the scary things on the signs, like that you'd never see in North America. Like, it's a pretty tough place, South London, isn't it?
I'm trying to picture what you mean. Yellow signs. Are you talking about murder signs? Well, it depends, you know. I think South London's divided into lots of different communities and different colour-coded communities. Like you said, you find yellow signs intimidating, but that's just what it is. It's everywhere, all over the world. But
well, not really here, because like here, you're like walking your dog and it says something like garage sale. You're like, yeah! But in England, I guess my friend was there and saw all those signs that had like murder and stuff, and it scared her slightly. She survived, though.
That's good. That's not the stuff that scares me.
What scares you, M.I.A.?
Just people not being given opportunities, not being able to break through the invisible, sly wall that I think holds a lot of people down, and lack of change, you know, and a lot of people's inability to change. I think that scares me a lot more.
M.I.A., some people are afraid of Sri Lankan politics, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
But then you have an easy solution for that. Color pink. How does the color pink make everything just fine?
You tell me, you know. That's what I had to do to communicate, and here I am. So you tell me how color pink works for you, you know.
I'm not sure, but the color pink hooked Jude Law in. How did that all work there? Could you explain a bit about the color pink and M.I.A., Maya?
I think what they were trying to tell you is if you make your work more palatable by dressing it up in language that, you know, contemporary language that the youth are used to, everything becomes more easy to digest, you know. I think we're so addicted and led by the media, the fashion, the bling, and just nobody really wants to deal with anything serious. So you have to find ways to bring in serious issues into the disposable popular culture, and you know, you kind of have to play at their game using their tools, and that's kind of what I think I was trying to do. And it was a really interesting lesson for me to learn, because it's got me this far.
And specifically, it had a whole bunch of cool images from Sri Lanka, and nobody really wanted anything to do with them, and you added some pink and sold them all.
Well, I don't think it was like a real cool bunch of images. It was stories and issues that were really relevant to me, and I think it was relevant to a lot of people at the time, but nobody really wanted to deal with it. So, yeah, you have to find ways around stuff, otherwise there's no point.
I love info, M.I.A. I love info.
Good.
And you do too, don't you?
I do.
Like when you listen to a song, it's fun to learn something from the song, isn't it?
It is, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. And one of the artists you've been digging lately is M.I.A, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's kind of unique, isn't he?
He is.
Because he's talking kind of in the dance hall thing, but he's also throwing like messages of like AIDS and stuff like that in there, which is kind of like a big slap for maybe people aren't expecting that, aren't they? Is that kind of what you're doing?
Not really. I think M.I.A comes from a real, you know, he's got a philosophy that comes from the whole Rastafari tradition. I don't really have that, you know. So what M.I.A is doing is directly in connection to whatever the teachings of the Rastafari culture, but I think it's just interesting that he's just really modern with it. You know, he can communicate to someone like me with what he's doing, which is really great. You know, sometimes reggae, it becomes so much about, you know, what the teachings are that, you know, you really have to be within it to understand it. But M.I.A. kind of transcends that, which is good.
M.I.A., how much do you want to break through? M.I.A., music for nursing homes.
Well, when you get told that being cool is saying, you know, fuck you to radio and fuck you to television, which is kind of good if you're a white middle-class rock band, and I think being cool is so determined by them that someone like me coming up, to me being cool is the opposite, which is, no, I want to be on, you know, GLR or BBC Radio 2, you know what I mean? Because that's territory that I'll never make it into.
How about the stuff you tackle in your mixtapes here? This winding up, you rap over some 2 Live Crew.
Yeah, I do that in my live set too.
What do you think about 2 Live Crew?
I think their beats are really good. Obviously, I like the Peaches. I recognize a lot of her beats and 2 Live Crew influences and stuff. I think beat-wise and Miami bass-wise, they contributed a lot.
M.I.A., what about the MC505? Who else is using that these days in the rap world? Not too many people, right?
No. I thought everyone would be using it, but I haven't heard about it yet. Nobody wants to mess with the little groove box, you know, people are like, and then I'm getting the super sick studio with but we'll see.
But then Jimmy Iovine from Interscope, he heard your beats and said they're worth millions.
Wow, he was just impressed how you can make a little go a long way.
This from the MC505, like none of these other guys even try it, do they?
Well, yeah, you should know. Haven't you got your ears open listening to who's using this kind of stuff?
I don't really know of anybody else that's using. Maybe Peaches has used a bit of it, but I don't think really too many people have in the contemporary like rap world out there. To MC505.
When I met Peaches, she told me she got given hers free by the people Roland, and then they gave it to like 20 different artists, including the Beastie Boys and Air and people like that, and nobody really bothered with it. I think a lot of people just leave it in the corner of their studio collecting dust. If there's any around, please send it to me. Mine's broken.
M.I.A., just winding up here lastly, do you remember the artist known as Sir Mix-a-Lot? Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, what about him?
Well, of course he had this big hit, Baby Got Back.
Yeah, why are we talking about Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Because there's a connection between Sir Mix-a-Lot and M.I.A.
What is it?
Well, he also has a song called Beepers.
Oh, okay.
And you know where I'm going with this? Because you have a song all about text
messaging.
So what I was wondering is, when you listen back to Sir Mix-a-Lot, you hear him going, beepers, beepers. Do you ever worry about any of your songs becoming dated? You know, text messaging in 10 years from now might be totally out of date.
Is that really what it's about? I mean, I don't know how artists can strive to...
But I mean, the thing is kind of neat, though, looking at Sir Mix-a-Lot. You know, he's got the song, beepers, beepers. Having a beeper, that was where it's at, you know what I mean? So now text messaging, even though maybe that's not specifically what the song is about, but still, mentioning that technology, I think is kind of cool.
I think it's probably, well, if you're going to talk about it in that sense, beepers never really made it across to England. We have no relevance for pages and beepers whatsoever, so that song wasn't really a big hit. You know what I mean?
Which makes me so sad.
But text messaging, however, I think in the time when Americans were having beepers, British, 5-year-olds were running around with cell phones texting each other. So for me, it's more relevant in Britain talking about text messaging. But yeah, I don't really write songs to stick around in 10 years' time. I'm kind of more about now and being in the time and what's going on right now.
What was it like meeting Jay-Z?
Well, I went into Def Jam that I'm with Interscope now.
But, I mean, what was it like meeting him? Like, did you have any questions for him or anything? Like, of course, you slipped the notes to Prince Charles' jacket. Did you try to get any messages through to Jay-Z at all?
I actually, no. I walked out of Def Jam because I didn't understand why I was there. So, yeah.
You didn't even get a chance to meet him or anything? Like, you didn't say any words to him?
No, I met L.A. Reid. Yeah.
The guy behind Avril Lavigne.
Is he?
I think so.
Yeah. I was too scruffy to be in there. That's how I felt. I was like, But yeah.
And what did L.A. Reid do?
He met me, we talked, you know. It's just, of course you're going to meet people, that's what happens, but yeah, I think everybody was really confused because it's such a new sound and what was going on, and they kind of phoned me up so many times. I was like, okay, I'll come down and meet people, but I couldn't really figure out. I mean, this is before I signed with Interscope and met any of them and really knew what was going on. So it was like my first trip to New York, and yeah, it was interesting. It's interesting that the hip-hop world's that open-minded, that, you know, they're willing to take risks and talk to me, and yeah, that's kind of cool. Work with me.
Well, M.I.A., anything else you want to add to the people out there at all?
I don't really know what to say right now. It's kind of, I mean, in Canada, they're just already too cool. There's nothing I need to say to them.
Why should people care about M.I.A.?
Because it's the truth.
Well, thanks so much, M.I.A. Keep on rocking in the free world, and do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do.